guys, welcome back to my channel. And yeah, last episode we already talked about the CELBAN role play number 1, right? But today we have special guest again. Welcome, Rachel.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, and today we will talk about listening part in CELBAN exam. Rachel is the one who already passed it, and congratulations. Yeah, thank you, Rachel, for being here with me. And we will talk about the listening, which is the most challenging part because we have to get 10 out of 10 of the score. Yeah, so we will ask Rachel for some tips of the listening part. First questions, okay, we will ask what the listening part look like in the test, CELBAN test.
Okay, so the listening part of the CELBAN examination, I would agree with Nat. That it's the most challenging. I would give 2 reasons why I say that. First is, as she had mentioned a while ago, we need a band score of 10. And if you will ask internationally educated nurses that are aspiring registered nurses here in Canada, that's always the reason why they fail the CELBAN. It's because of the listening. The other subtests, the reading, the writing, and the speaking, they ace that. But for the listening part, it's just so difficult because there's a certain band score that we have to comply. Another thing would be, this is the first exam that you will get when you
computer-based test.
Yeah, when you go to the testing site. Yeah. This is your first exam, so the anxiety level is very high. You're very pressured because there's a certain band score that you need to comply. So I think those are the 2 reasons why I consider it as very challenging.
Yeah, so how can you get the score 10 out of 10? You have to get score higher or above than 90% of the test, which means that you will not get the same questions. The number of questions is also different from each person, right? Yes. Some person maybe get 50 questions, some person maybe get only 45 something, but you have to get the score over 90%. How can you achieve the score 10 out of 10?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Okay, so what is the component that we can expect to meet in the CELBAN listening?
Okay, so just to give an idea, the listening component of the CELBAN examination, it takes around 45 minutes. So there are scenarios that are, it's a video presentation, it's like a scenario, which are commonly known to nurses. Like, for example, conversations between doctors and nurses to other allied healthcare professionals, or sometimes it's a conversation between a relative of the patient and the relative. There are 3 persons on the videos. So it takes around 45 minutes, as I have said. There are 14 scenarios that I had during my exam. And each scenario, it can have at least a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 12 questions per scenario. Okay. So as I can remember, there are two types of exam that I had during my time. I had the multiple choice questions, and the other one is the symptoms identification, wherein you have to describe or determine if the symptom that was presented on the video was gone, it was severe, or
less severe,
not changed at all.
Yeah.
So that's how the exam goes.
Why is so difficult in the listening? How can you explain more in the detail?
Well, I think I find it difficult on the exam. One major thing is it's because they changed actually the
conversation.
Yeah, they changed the conversations. They do not use the exact words on the choices. So it's like an implied meaning strategy. For example, they don't use the medical jargons that we as nurses are familiar with. They will use the common words that as how a patient describes their symptoms. So you have to be familiar with that. And of course, the transition of the questions.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not about the accent, but it's how you understand what they're saying. So it's very important that you take time on reviewing the questions, because they will give you time to read those questions, understand what do you need to hear, and of course identify keywords so that you won't waste your time during the exam.
I see. But the problem is, I also have experience about the test, but my problem is they talk in the other ways that we expect to hear, but they didn't talk the one that we expect to hear. They talk in their other sentences, but it's actually like you have to translate and understand what the exact telling the patient telling, or like the dialogue was telling you at that time. It's pretty challenging. I think
you have to understand what they're trying to tell you, and of course you have to watch out for, there are times that they will say they are in pain, and then later on they will say they're not. So you have to watch out for those kinds.
They try to trick you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just their way to challenge the examinees, but
and you're understanding what's going on in that dialogue.
It's very challenging.
Yeah, sure. I know that I have experienced before. For the next questions, how do you practice in listening? How do the examinee can do better in their testing?
Okay, so unfortunately, there are very limited resources that you can find in the internet for the CELBAN.
Yeah, agree.
You can browse their the website of the CELBAN, but you cannot get that much. You can purchase some instructional,
but it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. So in comparison with IELTS, because I also took IELTS way back, there are tons that you can find in the internet.
Sure.
Listening, reading, speaking exercises, you can find a lot in the internet. So it helps a lot. But of course, you have to utilize whatever is available for us. So the resources that I used when I practiced during my listening are YouTube videos from OET exercises.
It's pretty hard.
Yeah, and I'm actually frustrated when I do my exercises because I get low scores. But it helped me a lot, because it kind of trains your ears to listen on how the conversation looks like in the exam. And I would assure you, CELBAN is not as bad as the OET. OET is really difficult.
Yeah.
During the CELBAN examination, it's like half of it, I would say. I would rate it like 5 out of 10.
Okay.
It makes you like be familiar with how they speak in a natural nursing language. Okay, so YouTube videos, OETs, nursing assessment videos in the internet. Just utilize whatever is free, because we can't purchase anything, so utilize whatever is free. Another thing would be when you watch videos or movies. I know everybody wants to watch movies or Netflix. I do not watch videos with subtitles. I try my best to listen, because if you have subtitles, you're guided. You're guided on what
you will more focus on reading more than listening.
Yes. But if you just listen to whatever it is on the movie, you're trying to train yourself to be attentive, which you really need on the actual examination.
That's right. Okay. I think this one might help. Yeah, because we have limited resource.
Yes.
Really.
They don't publish so much resources in the internet.
Yeah, and what the thing we have to do is familiar with the circumstances or the situation that the healthcare worker, they communicate with each other. I also agree that it's not really hard about 5 of OET, but it's fast. The first thing is fast, and it's tricky you how you this one might be correct, but they will talk the correct answer in the next sentence.
Yeah, they will change it.
They will change it always. Just be careful with your dialogue and questions. Yeah, don't go right away. Nothing comes with right away in the listening. Sure. Okay, for the last questions. Okay. Do you have any tips? I think you already mentioned it, but for the one more things or the more tips that we can apply in the exam.
Okay, so I told Nat a while ago that I do not have any tips.
Yeah,
but
she told me.
But the first thing that came to my mind is, of course, do not panic. It's there's a time limit on the exam, and if you panic, the rest of the subcomponents will be compromised. As I've said a while ago, this is the first exam that you will take. There's still 2 more. So if you panic, it's gonna compromise the rest of the exam. If you pass the listening and you fail the other subcomponents, it's just the same. So try your best to keep the anxiety
conscious.
On the mild anxiety level, wherein you're very attentive, you can understand whatever conversation is all about. Try to also manage your time during the exam. As I've said a while ago, it's just 45 minutes. And if you were able to finish the exam immediately, you were not able to consume the entire 45 minutes, you can go back. You can go back. You can flag those items that you were confused or you didn't hear it right. And if you have time, you can go back. So time management is very, very important during the exam. So I do not say that you have to make it fast, but you still have a time to review your answers, and at the same time to check if there's a need for you to check those answers.
Yeah, so after you finish the test, you will have the time, I think about maybe 10 minutes. It depends on conversation you get, 10 minutes. And then once you flag the questions that you want to review, you can come back to that questions. But be careful, because the time limits that you have, they will include the time that you review the questions, like a 30 seconds something. You will lose it anyway.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that they have a
timer.
Yeah, you have the timer there, which would alert you that, okay, my time is up, or I have a very limited time.
Yeah, I think you can probably go back just only three questions, 3 dialogues, something. Yeah, just as the Rachel says, don't be panic, and always conscious.
Yeah, because your energy is gonna go down, and then the next exam is reading. It needs energy, and the writing also. So you try to manage your time and do not panic during the exam. And another thing, as we have mentioned previously, the questions will be flashed, and you will be given a chance to read those questions before the video is played. So take your time to know the question, know what you need to know on the video for the keywords, so that you won't waste your time.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And do you still remember that we have the scratch pad? Like the
I didn't use
film?
it. But I think like, I'm so nervous because it's my first exam as well, and it was so nervous. I even could not think, where is the sketch pad? No, I didn't use the functions that they have. I didn't use it, and so, I don't know how to like typing.
Yeah, you just focus on answering. Yeah, but me, I had the chance to write something on it while I'm listening.
You use the pen?
Yeah, just it's a whiteboard marker. You just use it there.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then you return it afterwards.
Because even just take my time on the reading the questions is already done.
Oh, but my experience is I took my exam on the testing facility. I am not familiar on how it goes if it's a virtual exam, because I think they won't allow any kind of paper during that time. Yeah,
sure. They will check all around your room,
even
under desks, under my chair.
Really?
Yeah,
they do that?
I have to put my computer under my chair.
Oh.
Yeah, and in front, behind, your arms, everything.
So security checks, they do security checks.
It's about 15 minutes. And also I have a problem with my computers that could not open the camera to the system. So make sure before you go to the test, I think about 40 minutes at least before you start the test.
If you're going to the testing facility.
No, I mean remote test at home.
For the remote.
Yeah, for the remote. If you select the remote test, so like you can take the test anywhere in the world.
Oh yeah, that's one of the advantages now of CELBAN.
Yeah, that's right.
Anywhere.
Yeah, but you have to have more time before the test start. Okay. I think today we got lots of tips from Rachel. She already passed the listening 10 out of 10, which is the most challenging that we have to go through. We could not pass only reading, writing, or even speaking. We need our total component to get the active score, right? Okay, thank you, Rachel, for being with us today and give you guys some tips and some materials that she used for her CELBAN exam. Hope you guys doing well and pass the score together.
Yeah.
Okay. See you with next episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, subscribe my channels, and we will come back with the other part of the CELBAN exam. Yeah, okay. Bye guys. Bye.